Well, welcome everybody to the Q&A tonight with Cardio Miracle, the question and answer. We have such a treat tonight. We have my brother Jason Hewlett, the president of Cardio Miracle, and we are so excited to have this opportunity for him to be in town and for him to be with us. So, how you doing today, brother?
I am good, my brother. This is awesome that I have you on the screen as well as over my shoulder, your former body and the other body, and now the buff muscle guy. It's really cool to see the transformation that you've made. And yeah, whether everybody was expecting John tonight or Josh or Jason, it's a family affair. We're thankful that you're here. And yeah, I've been on the road for the last few weeks, in fact, for over a month with a lady named Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly is one of the top journalists in the world, independent speech, freedom, faith. She is a fighter. Has no fear. And after Charlie Kirk's assassination, she was not sure if she was going to go on this tour because of the threat of what happened with him that could possibly happen to her. I mean, she's had challenges throughout her career anyway with that kind of thing. And so he was supposed to be one of her guests on this tour. And she went with it anyway. I'm so impressed with her. I've now been traveling with her for over a month. It's been an incredible experience. She is truly somebody we can look to that's a great voice in America. Obviously, she says controversial things, but she says the truth. She says it like it is. She's very in your face, and we appreciate her because she's all about making America healthy again. She's about independent thought and journalism and so forth. So I was her opening act. For the people in the cardio miracle world that don't know my history, I started my career in Las Vegas as an entertainer, and I am a speaker and author as well. That's how I've made my career for many years before joining on with Cardio Miracle and the family business. But I'll tell you what, being the opening act of Megyn Kelly's show is fun because it was an arena full of people not wanting to see anyone but Megyn. And I would come out on stage, introduce myself because they didn't put my name in the lights or anything, and then I would just kind of warm up the crowd. I would do music like, oh, listen to the music, oh, listen to the music all the time, and everybody would be like, when's Megyn coming out? And then I would eventually get her out on the stage after a couple of sponsors and other people that would speak. So we just did that for the last month plus. It's been amazing. I'm thrilled to be back home for a minute. So that's the intro of what we're doing.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, we're so excited. And while Jason and I are just chatting here, if you want to throw some questions in the Q&A, we'd be more than happy to answer those. We're so excited for Edward to be on from Ohio, Findlay, Ohio. That was actually my stomping grounds. When I lived in Ohio for 2 years, I served a service mission there, and I was in Findlay, Ohio, I was in Toledo, went to Lima, however people say that, and good old East Cleveland itself. So really excited. We also have Debbie here from Nebraska. Really exciting. So yeah, tell us where you're from in the notes section and the chat, and then the Q&A section should be just questions that we can answer. And excited to have Kristen on, one of our contractors from Nebraska as well. So welcome, Kristen. And yeah, we're excited. So Jason, with your tour that you were doing with Megyn Kelly, how different was that, or was it pretty comparable with with Tucker Carlson, or was there a big difference or big shift kind of in the crowd? Would you say?
Well, yeah, for those that may not know, we did the Tucker Carlson tour last year where I was the opening act for that. Cardio Miracle was the sponsor of that tour, one of them. And this audience was a bit different in the sense that that was during a political election season. And so people were on edge about the country. They were worried about who was going to be elected. They were vitriolic in many ways and ecstatic in other ways. They were patriots ready to send out their vote, to share their voice. And that was different. They were very big crowds, and they were a bit hasty in some cases, and yet they were awesome. This time around, it was a little bit different. The world has shifted. The audiences were a bit more tame. And yet, if she did have a guest like Tucker Carlson, then they would get riled up again. Whereas she also had some guests like Erica Kirk was the final guest, as the widow of Charlie Kirk, it was interesting to watch how it became almost a sacred and humbling experience to sit in that arena and to feel, I mean, you could hear a pin drop and to feel of the sacredness of that occasion, to hear her answering questions from Megyn about all that they've been through as a family. And so it was really an interesting shift from what it felt like with Tucker versus Megyn. But what was so wonderful is that Americans are patriotic. We came together to unite America as best as possible. Communication and speaking out is so important, to share your conservatism and to share your belief system. It's an important thing. And so often conservatives have been muted, and it's not been encouraged to talk about being a Christian in America and so forth for so long. And so for people to be able to do that now is a wonderful thing. And that's why we wanted to bring people together, not only for that, but also for a webinar like this, a Q&A session where we can find out who's out there, what questions you might have, and how we can help you to reclaim your health. So that was part of it.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Oh, well, thank you, man. That's amazing. It was so great to hear. And it's true. It's a different time and it's a different situation, obviously. And Debbie, we have a first question from Debbie. How can Cardio Miracle help ease symptoms with COPD? And COPD, if you're not aware, is kind of a constriction of oxygen and whatnot. And so to answer your question, Debbie, I'll just take this one real quickly, Jace, is that Cardio Miracle and nitric oxide specifically has actually been proven to increase your oxygen intake by at least 30%. And it's so exciting. So if you're ever Googling or wondering how nitric oxide can help with COPD symptoms, then I would suggest looking in Google and Googling how can nitric oxide help with COPD symptoms if there's more symptoms you're experiencing than just a constriction of airway and oxygen. But anything you got to add to that, Jason?
Yeah, when we've talked to John, our father, about some of these symptoms and, even COPD, those types of things. I mean, I've rarely heard anybody ask that question. So that's awesome that she's asking it here. And we do want your questions. I mean, if we don't even know the answer, we're going to look it up as well. But John, the founder of the company, one of his favorite things to do is go to ChatGPT and ask there. You can ask on Google and other places. It's not to say that every time it will be exactly correct. So you do want to consult your doctor if you have a real specific ailment or situation, especially if you're on a medication. You want to go and check with them, because we are not doctors. We're not pretending to be one, even if we play one on TV. But the thing is that we want you to be careful, and equally, this is a natural product. It's all science-based and equally naturally active ingredients that will change your structure of your body if you're willing to give it the chance to go in and really do its wonders. And that's why it's called Cardio Miracle. It is a miracle molecule that can help us in so many ways. Great.
Love
answer,
that. Thank
Josh.
you. Yeah, and Elizabeth put in the chat, thank you, is the cardiomiracle.com/studies. That is one of our biggest resources, is that we have all of our studies there that have been done by Dr. Tadeusz Malinsky, and he's amazing. He was able to test our product at a cellular level. And so it's amazing how he's able to prove how nitric oxide, how quickly it generates and how long it sustains in the bloodstream for over 24 hours a day, which is super exciting. But what's even more exciting is on Google that there are over 250,000 studies on the effects of nitric oxide. It won the Nobel Prize in 1998. And then with that research that was buried, they actually did a bunch of clinical trials and whatnot. And it was amazing to see how big of a molecule and how much of a miracle it actually is. And so, John, our father, has answered that question. Why do I call it Cardio Miracle? Why do I do this? And it's because a lot of this formulation was brought together from a divine nature that was actually brought to him. He feels from the hand of God has been in all of this, and so we're so excited that we're able to bring it to you. And a great a great explanation is in the chat from Elizabeth saying that it's called the spark of life in the cell for a reason and the miracle molecule for a reason. That's why they have been deemed that, and talked about that a lot in different studies. And so, Jason, as you have helped some of your friends and some of the people that have been on the product, how have you seen that? How have you seen the miracle in other people's lives changing as you've been recommending it?
Well, what's been neat is to be able to give it to somebody or have them encourage them to subscribe and get on this. Most people don't want to become a subscribe and saver just quite yet, and so they have to try the product out. We say, hey, give it 30 days, give it 60 days, you get your money back. But it's interesting, most people don't even wait 30 days after they've tried it for the first time because they go, I already feel the effect right away, whether it's somebody who's really, really fit and puts everything in their body really carefully. They're a health nut, let's say. Those are the people that I think feel the effects the most. Or if you're really, really sick, they feel the effects the most as well on the other end of the spectrum. Because if on one end you're really healthy and fit, you go to the gym every single day, once you put Cardio Miracle in your body, the vasodilation exchanges the oxygen in such a way that all of a sudden your VO2 max seems like it's shifted right away. People work out harder, stronger, can lift better and recover faster. And so taking it before and after a workout is a game changer for someone extremely fit and healthy. And then on the other end of the spectrum, if you're really suffering with some ailments that are challenging for you, once you've put Cardio Miracle in your body, in fact, yesterday I gave some to a lady who was like, I just am dragging right now. I'm tired. She was in her 50s. We were on this tour. I said, hey, are you willing to take this? It's an all natural supplement. Just pour it in your drink. She shook it up. She took a little swig. And then about 5 minutes later, she came over to me and she goes, oh my gosh, I felt like it was going through my body and energizing me. And I thought, that's amazing. I remember the first time I tried it, because now for me, it's just natural to feel that way, to feel that good and happy. She felt it for the first time. It was like watching someone become converted to something that changes their life. And that's such an exciting thing to watch, somebody who's in pain or suffering in that sense, to watch them go through a transformation. It's neat to watch the people's stories like that. How about yourself? I mean, I'm seeing in the chat, Josh, that even like somebody said, Edward Bird said, hello, my hero, Josh. I want to know why Josh is your hero, other than because of all the
I want to too. I'm like shocked, but no, I appreciate that, and I wanted to kind of expound on Chris's question. He asked about cholesterol and if Cardio Miracle could help with cholesterol. And one of the biggest things that we help people realize is that, yeah, as much as we love Cardio Miracle, we advocate for Cardio Miracle. Obviously, we work for Cardio Miracle. It's in the background of Jason over there. That huge banner of Cardio Miracle and it's at the cornerstone of my whole weight loss story and everything. It's about nitric oxide. It's about the science and what nitric oxide was called when they awarded the discovery of it, the Nobel Prize of Medicine in 1998. They called it the greatest regulator of all time. And nitric oxide is going to help regulate pretty much everything in your system, which is kind of, as I joke around with Jason, say it's bananas, right? because that's what it does. If, like, I had my children's mother had really low blood pressure, and she would pass out at work and freak everybody out. And the only thing we agree on are two things: are the love of my children, and then that Cardio Miracle is a great product, because she takes Cardio Miracle still, and we've been divorced for over 10 years. And she said it regulates her blood pressure when she had super low blood pressure. And so what it did is it helped regulate it. Now, again, we're not doctors. We don't treat, diagnose, any of that. But we just tell people to give it a shot and see it work wonders in your life. So with bad cholesterol, good cholesterol, it's going to regulate that to the levels what your body needs. And then it's going to help regulate that while you continue on the product. That's why we suggest, even though nitric oxide is sustained for 24 to 36 hours is what we've proven in the studies, we still suggest 2 servings a day to make sure that people are keeping that nitric oxide in their system at all times. And that is one of the most important things that we can try to hit home with people is to dose correctly and dose according to your body. Because me at a 285 pounder, now down from 480, I tell people that I still do 4 servings a day. Still do 4 servings a day of Cardio Miracle, and I make sure that I have it in my body every morning, every afternoon, every night, so that I can get through the day and not have that crash. So it's really super important. But anyway, getting back to why I'm someone's hero. Who said that, actually?
Edward.
Oh, that's really nice of him. So yeah, no, it's really it's a pleasure, Edward, to be here. You have to expand a little bit. get my head booming a little bit. So, but yeah, Jace, to answer your question, kind of going on that a little bit more. You know, some people don't feel it as energetic as others, and I've been trying to figure out why that is, and I think maybe. Because what I've noticed with our ultra marathoners, with our athletes, that they seem to feel it like on the first one single serve, they're feeling it right away. And with other people, you know, some people it could take a little bit longer. We tell everybody every single body is different, and we want to make sure that you don't give up faster than you can feel it. But play around with the dosage a little bit. Have you had that discussion with some of your people, Jason?
Yeah, one of my neighbors, a great guy, he has this blood pressure issue and he monitors it every single day on his phone. I guess he has an app that he just makes sure and checks it at all times. And so he's been on blood pressure medication for many years. He says it's in his family and it's just something that he's never going to get over. And I said, well, are you willing to try this product? So then he bought some and he said, this is an expensive product. And I said, I understand it's, your health is expensive too, right? And so it's interesting to see where people's priorities go. And as I said to him, I said, hey, I'm sure within 30 days you'll see a difference. And he religiously took it for 30 days and saw no difference. And he came to me and he was like, man, I don't see a difference. I'm not sure this is working. And I said, okay, give it 30 more days. We have a 60-day money back guarantee. If you don't see a difference, you get your money back. We won't ask any questions, but we see less than 1%. Very much more than less than 1% even ever ask for their money back. What's the number, Josh?
Yeah, last time I checked, it was like 0.03% or something.
So it's like crazy low. So I said, just give it 30 more days. Please just try it. And he said, I thought I'd see a bigger difference right away. I said, well, wait a minute. If you were to fix the plumbing of a house that's in its 50th year, it would probably take more than 30 days to fix that. And so you've got to go back in and really allow the lining of the endothelial cells to be able to regenerate, to be able to recapture the youth, essentially, of what Cardio Miracle does, which is to energize the cell and to release the D3 and all the different beautiful things that happen within the body when nitric oxide is created. I think it was day 45. He came to me and he was freaking out. He said, look at my numbers. And it had only been like 2 or 3 days, but he thought the first day it was a joke because his numbers had changed so dramatically that he was like, this must be an anomaly and it must just be today. So then he tested the next day and it was still at that lower number, like astronomically different from the number it had been for so many years. And so the third day he came to me, which was day 45, if I recall, and he said, this is a miracle. And I said, that's why it's called Cardio Miracle. And he said, this is crazy. I think it's working. And I said, well, of course it's working. You have it on your app, right? Yeah. And sometimes it takes people a little bit longer. Sometimes it's immediate. But for anybody who's willing to stick to the protocol and take the servings every day. In fact, I found out, Josh, because he said after 30 days, he's like, yeah, I said, how many are you taking? And he goes, well, I just do the 1 stick. And I go, my man, you got to take the right serving amount. And so he started doing more sticks. He started just taking more of it. And that's when all the changes happened, was once he started into hitting the serving amounts each time. I think a lot of people get their package and they're like, well, I'll just kind of preserve it and take a little bit here and there since it lasts for 24 to 36 hours. But the truth is, you have to do the right serving size amount or you will not get the exact benefits that you're looking for.
Love it, man. Yeah, and so I've got Cindy wrote, I love my Cardio Miracle. Gave two different couples at church some sticks, and they're excited to try it. Encouraging them to subscribe and save to get started now as the weather is changing and less sunlight. So yes, you're right on the vitamin D, the happiness vitamin, right? They're definitely going to get some of that, a lot of that with Cardio Miracle. And the subscribe and save option, we are so grateful that you would encourage people to try that, because that is not just to lock people in and to for us to make more money. I mean, the option of subscribe and save is to make sure that everyone is taking the dosing correctly and that they do get it on a periodic basis, that they can continue to take it. And consistency is the key, I'm telling you, 100%. And so really exciting, actually. Now I'm going to throw a little plug in there, Elizabeth. If you can put the link in there, we're doing our Black Friday special. It launched, you guys. It's really exciting. So we're having that special right now. It's $475 worth of product that we're actually selling for $230. So if you don't have the email, look down below. Elizabeth will put the link in here. And Jason, I got the feedback from Edward. He said his doctor was trying to get him to use intermittent fasting, but he couldn't do it. And so he watched me talk about intermittent fasting and losing all the weight. So he said, if he can, I can. And this year he's lost just over 60 pounds. And with his Cardio Miracle, his blood pressure is 95/57. Edward, oh my gosh. Yes. Woo! Huge congrats, man. That is such a great story. I love it so much. And that is so true with intermittent fasting, man. That this is where Cardio Miracle has really saved me with the intermittent fasting. What about you, Jace? How do you use it with intermittent fasting?
Yeah, intermittent fasting's the way to go, at least for me. And I know that that's a hard thing for some people to do, just depending on their blood sugar levels and other things like that. So you do have to watch that and be careful. But what's neat about intermittent fasting and Cardio Miracle is that if you do a fast for 16 hours and then you only eat for the other 8, or whatever your regimen that you decide to do, I know that I've been doing for many years now the 20 hours on the fast, 4 hours off, and that's when I'm eating. And I'm eating as much protein as I can. So I'm eating a gram of protein per pound. So I'm trying to pack in 200 grams of protein in 4 hours. That's very hard to do. Oh, yeah. And what Cardio Miracle does is that allows my body to take in all the nutrients that I need at the right time. I can even take it during the fast because it doesn't knock you out of the fast. That's part of what's so special about Cardio Miracle. And so you can actually survive off it during the fast, and that's a great way to get through it quicker.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I've got Karen asking, how does it help with blood sugar levels? And what it's going to do with the blood sugar levels? Again, we're not diagnosing, we're not doctors, but what we take it from is our customer base that is just under about 50,000 people. So we actually have seen our type 1 diabetic customers that say they don't have to shoot up the insulin as often with the use of Cardio Miracle. Helps level out insulin levels and blood sugar levels. But there is a little caveat to this. There are some people that take their blood pressure daily, or they take their blood sugar daily. And so when you start taking Cardio Miracle, you start the nitric oxide therapy, there is going to be a moment of what we call restructuring in your blood. And so it's going to restructure a little bit. It might spike the blood sugar levels in the beginning, but then, as we say, as you continue with it, it's all going to regulate out and then get level with what your body needs. And so it's all about regulation with nitric oxide. So another good question for Google, how can nitric oxide help with blood sugar levels? Regulate blood sugar levels would be a good one. You might find an article on that, actually. So Jason, you have anything to add on that one?
Yeah, anytime you add some new regimen into your life, your body's going to go through a shift, whether it's you're going to sleep more. I mean, all of a sudden you have to choose what better to do with your awake hours. Maybe you change some of your diet up. Maybe you go into just mostly protein or some ketosis type of a eating system. And so then your body might have a challenge processing the food, and you might not have a bowel movement for a few days. I mean, these are just the kind of the changes that happen to our body naturally when we adopt something new. And yet we have to be okay with the idea that when we introduce Cardio Miracle or any kind of supplementation, you might actually have more things coming out of your body for a minute, right? Just for as you start to
Slow
adapt.
restructuring. Yeah, man. It's awesome. Yeah.
And equally, you will feel a difference pretty darn quick if you are willing to allow it to make that change. I think that a lot of people go into it so timid that they don't notice the differences, and they might think, oh, this is going to help my energy, and they don't notice that perhaps it didn't help their energy as much, but instead they're sleeping better, they're having better vivid dreams, they're remembering things more because the microcapillaries in their brain are functioning at a higher level. Maybe their eyesight's improved or whatever. Like, so many people have so many different responses to what Cardio Miracle's benefits can be. And so it's interesting when you expect something and you receive a different blessing. We believe that God did help us create this product. Our dad, John Hewlett, he was saved by being able to have nitric oxide therapy, help him not need a quadruple bypass surgery for his heart. And so we know that this is a divinely inspired product. We believe that God will help your body heal itself in the sense that if you do go through this therapy, that it will restructure and change your body.
Oh yeah, definitely. Couldn't have said it better myself. So Chris also is saying that he's having trouble getting it submitted to his HSA to go through. So Chris, if you could send us what you're struggling with at support@cardiomiracle.com, we will get that to the proper people that work with that, our operations people, and they will be able to get you a phone number to the direct pathways that we need to help you with. Or Elizabeth put in there the 800-663-0158. That number's plastered all over all of our pouches, all over all our material, and we could always help you that way as well. So we're just so excited that everyone's willing to jump in and try our new our product, and we're so excited that we have this special going out for Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and that'll be going till the 30th of this month. And so hop in there, get it as quickly as you can, cardiomiracle.com/holiday 2025. Super exciting stuff. Also, we are dropping our podcast episodes weekly. So if you head to Rumble and you type up Cardio Miracle, or you type in Pulse Beat, you'll be able to find us, follow us. These are my shameless plugs, on social media as well. So hop in, follow us, give us a like, and it looks like Elizabeth's putting some links in there into the chat. So thank you very much for that, Elizabeth. And so, Jason, as you have, you talked about your friends, you talked about the people that you handed it to at the Kelly, the tour. Have you been able to get positive feedback from those people on the tour yet, or are things kind of trickling in?
It was funny. I was sitting with the videographer of Megyn Kelly's show. He's the guy that does all of the editing for all of the, whether it's her podcast or her broadcast that she does every single day, or even just capturing the moments on stage that are so essential with her guests and so forth. And I was sitting in the car with him as we raced from the airport. In fact, she has such high security that we needed a police motorcade for a majority of the rides from the airport to the hotel. It was very bizarre. It was like being with the president of the United States or something. But what was interesting, I'm talking to the videographer, wonderful guy, and I heard him talk about when I said, hey, so how's your health? Because you look really healthy. And he does look very fit, very handsome, cool dude. And he's just like, I'm not healthy right now. And I said, what do you mean you're not healthy? And he goes, on this tour, we're eating poorly. I'm sleeping. I'm not even getting to bed at night on time. I'm sleeping poorly. I'm early up. It's too much. I don't have time to run. I need to get back into it. And I said, how are you feeling health-wise? Like, do you feel sick? He said, I feel like something's coming on. I'm not sure if I'm going to hold off for the winter. I really don't want to get sick right now. I'm like, yeah, there's never a convenient time to be sick. But I said, would you be willing to try this if I give you something that could help you at least stave off the sickness that's coming and even fight the jet lag and could help you with your energy level during this? And so he was like, well, he didn't even know who I am, really. He's like, well, we just met, and why are you giving me this powder? And I said,
Sure.
this will, yeah, here, I said, here, this will change your life, man. I'm all, no, I handed it over to him, and he put it in his drink, and he's like, I trust you, okay. And he asked a few things, like, what's in it? And I'm like, well, here's the ingredients, and we talked through it a little bit. And he had not really heard of what nitric oxide could do for you in terms of fighting off a sickness. He had heard about how it was good for workouts. And I said, well, yeah, this will help you so you don't probably get sick on this tour. Like, this is how I'm staying healthy, so this will help you as well. Anyway, a few hours later, we saw each other at the gig. He's getting set up. I'm ready for the VIP. We're doing photos with all the guests and so forth. And he comes over to me. He wasn't a real talkative guy at first, but after he had taken the Cardio Miracle, he came over to me and he's like, bro, I don't know what's in this stuff, but I feel like rearranging all the chairs and I feel amazing. And I was like,
OCD kicked in.
Really? Did it really affect you? He goes, I don't know what's in this, but I feel great. And he goes, is there caffeine or something in this? I go, no caffeine. And he's like, what? This is amazing. I love it. And so he's like, do you have more of that? And because I had brought little sample packs, I handed him a sample. I said, yeah, you should check it out. Maybe become a subscriber. He's like, man, I'm definitely going to look at this more. So it's fun to see somebody go from skeptic to your best friend within a few hours. And we actually had a greater connection for the rest of the tour because he saw that I wasn't there to sell him something. I was just trying to help him to not get sick. And so when you're wondering how can you talk to somebody about it, it's more about your own testimonial about how it's helped you or how it's helped your family. Maybe it helped with surgery or not get sick or jet lag. It's a really easy thing to share something when it changes your life as well, rather than thinking, oh, I'm going to sign somebody up, because this isn't a multi-level, it's not a direct sales. And so we're not about like building some kind of scheme around this, but rather how can we serve more people by sharing the benefits of Cardio Miracle to gift them the gift of health for themselves, especially at this time of year.
Love it, man. Yeah, it makes a great gift too. So very special. So Rita is asking about heartburn. She's been getting heartburn more recently with the product. She started about 7 to 8 months ago. And so what we suggest, Rita, even if you are doing like a lower dose or whatnot, I would suggest personally coupling it with a carb, doing like a banana or a piece of bread or something like that. Like we were talking about not mixing it with protein, is the thing is it's not like it will combust or like not work, but it will just be delayed in the reaction of creating nitric oxide if you do mix it with protein. So we do suggest either putting the Cardio Miracle in a fruit smoothie, doing something like that, or taking it with a carb. Actually, I think it actually will help with the heartburn. I think that Elizabeth tried to ask if you changed anything else in your diet or whatnot recently. And so that, I don't know. Have you ever heard of that, Jace? Have you ever heard the heartburn question before?
Well, yeah, and I've suffered with this as well. And so what I would recommend is perhaps depending upon what time of day you take it and with what you're taking it, like if you drink it with orange juice, that's going to add to acidity that could make it a little tricky, or if you're having it with strawberries and other types of fruits. And so I would also even perhaps lessen the dose or lessen the serving amount per time. So I might take a stick pack and just shake it up in one bottle and just drink half and maybe spread it out through a couple hours in the morning rather than taking it in the afternoon or night when the heartburn might kick in even more when you're laying down and you have more of that chance for it to come up and to feel, that feeling inside or the acid reflux, even if that's happening. I know that I've suffered with that. So I just have to say to myself, can I take it mostly on the front end in the morning? Can I spread it out through the day? If I take it at night, the truth is for me, I like to take it at night but it's taken me a little bit of time for my body to adjust to be able to take it at night, because I have suffered with a lot of heartburn and acid reflux, and now it makes me sleep better, and
Yeah.
so I take it at night as well.
Yeah, getting used to it a little bit. So, Deborah was asking about the whole weight loss thing, and what I have to explain to people is that as L-arginine, one of the main ingredients in Cardio Miracle, has been proven to speed up your metabolism. I don't like necessarily deem this Cardio Miracle as my like weight loss, you know, drug or whatever drug of choice, but it's helped me because Jason was talking about doing the intermittent fasting, the 20 hours and the 4 hours. I did intermittent fasting like that, 20 hours a day from 6 p.m. till 2 p.m. the next day. I did that for 2.5 years straight. And then I would just eat like a, you know, like an animal for 4 hours, and I was eating all strict keto. So I was just meat and fat, and now I've got a lot more balance in my diet, and that's why I melted 180 pounds so quickly, and now I'm getting the last 20 off to get equal 200 total. And so I appreciate you recognizing that and everything, but that was really one of my pinnacles of success in my weight loss was the intermittent fasting mostly, and the fact that Cardio Miracle would help keep me satiated during those fasting hours so that I wasn't ravenous for food all day, every day. And that is where the Cardio Miracle really helped me. And so it's not like a weight loss, drug or anything, but we just suggest coupling it with that to help support your weight loss journey. So thank you for the congratulations on that. Anything to add on that one, Jace?
It's helped me on my weight loss journey as well. I've lost some pounds myself, and the thing that I appreciate about it is that it allows me to do the workout amount and load that I really want to each day. For example, yesterday I woke up, a friend of mine, we were in Arizona, he was like, "Hey, we should go for a walk." And I was like, "All right, let's go for a walk." I didn't know what his frame of reference was for a walk. And so I was in my Vans, and I didn't notice that he had on his Hokas and his hat and his water, and I was just in my Vans walking down the street with him. Next thing I know, he's taking me up the summit of a mountain, and I was absolutely ill prepared, but I thought, you know what, I'm fine. I did a 4 mile hike in the absolute heat of the day, sun, blasted up and down a mountain about 1,500 feet and of elevation. Did this 4 miler in less than 2 hours, had no water, had no hat. He was sweaty. He's in shape. I'm in shape too, but I'm just saying, like, for me, Cardio Miracle has allowed me to do something like that, which I probably wouldn't recommend without water, but like, I know that my body is fine because I go out and I walk 4 or 5 miles every day anyway. Now I'm just walking up a mountain. And so as you start to realize what your body can do, Cardio Miracle lasts in your system for 24, 36 hours, so you're good. And it's just allowed me to do more than I could in the past. And the recovery is amazing. When you're working out a muscle, you're tearing the fibers inside, right? And so you want to fill that muscle with not only the scar tissue, but blood flow. That makes all the difference while you're trying to build that muscle later. So you want to put the vasodilation into your body first with the drinking it prior, and then you want to put it in after in order to continue to push that blood flow through. All those things add up to make for a better body, a better health, and a happier life with Cardio Miracle.
Heck yeah, man. I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for your questions and for your interaction. It's been such a pleasure to be able to talk to you a little bit and recognize some wonderful testimonials. We are so grateful for any testimonials that anyone can send. Please reach out to us at support@cardiomiracle.com. Elizabeth is throwing in some other links for friendly reminders for more Q&As. Email them to support@cardiomiracle.com, or you can go to, again, the cardiomiracle.com/studies and read all of our wonderful studies that I'll tell you what, if you had any doubts at all, if you even read one of those studies and you understand them, then I'm telling you that it'll blow your mind apart. It'll be so amazing. You'll be like, I can't believe I'm drinking this. It's amazing. So, one last plug on the holiday special. We have a cardiomiracle.com/holiday 2025. Please head there and stock up as much as you'd like. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody that's on here. We're so blessed and so excited and happy to have you as customers of our life-changing, life-saving product. And Jason, you want to close us out?
Yeah, we just appreciate everybody that's joined us tonight and anyone that'll watch this as a type of a replay. But, you know, when you take your health into your own hands, when you decide that you want to make a difference in your own life by investing in your health, investing in yourself, that's a blessing to your family, to your, obviously to your own happiness. I don't know anybody that's really that able to have a ton of happiness and joy in their family when they're feeling unhealthy. And obviously you can try with all your might to look at it through a silver lining, but when we're healthy, we're happy. And when we're giving the health to other people by sharing this with them, this is the perfect time of the year to give somebody a great thank you gift. And at the greatest price that we've offered in a long time. I think this is the biggest sale we've done in a long time. In fact, I don't even know if we're promoting this to everybody. I think it's kind of just special to, we're not putting this online, are we? Like, we're not sharing this with social media. This is like a really special, only
it's pretty exclusive.
only you guys are watching, I think, are going to know about this for now. And then we might trickle it out to certain other groups, but like, this is a really huge deal. I mean, we want as many people to get it as possible, but we're kind of giving away the farm here. And we're totally happy to do that because we want you to take advantage of it. You could buy up a whole stock for the rest of this year and next and give it to your family, gift it as a food storage option for the future, for when if the world is falling apart, the dollar's having its challenges, all the stuff that everyone's talking about. We believe that America is great. We believe the world is good. We also believe that we need to capture our own health and be vigilant with the way that it seems like things are kind of going a little bit skewed and crazy. So how can we control that? Through our own health, our own investment in ourselves and in our own happiness. So God bless America. God bless each of you. Josh, you're amazing at this. I hope we can do it again. And as I like to share with everybody, if you take enough of it, this might happen. I'm just kidding. This is what I did on the Megyn Kelly. Yeah, see? People are like, what the heck? He's glitching out. Yeah, this is
what happens to your nose when you sniff it.
This is what happens when I sniff Cardio Miracle. No. So anyway, that may not happen with you. But God bless you guys. God bless America. We live in the greatest country in the world. Thankful for you. Thankful for your families. And give them kisses and hugs because this is a beautiful time of life. And we appreciate you being a part of the Cardio Miracle family.
We love you guys. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening.